Vince Graham was replaced on the State Infrastructure Transportation Bank Board a few weeks ago. Now, he sits down with me one-on-one for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Vince!
Quintin!
It is so good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Likewise. Oh, I'm doing just great.
Good.
I know that you've been extremely busy.
I have been, yeah.
But I gotta take you back to some headline news that is still going on right now.
Okay.
The Post-Inquiry said this on March 1st. The headline reads this: Governor Henry McMaster replaces Vince Graham as chair of SC Infrastructure Bank Board. Tell me, when you heard that news, where did your mind go to?
Well, I wasn't completely surprised by it, but it just, I guess it went to catching up on all the other stuff that I hadn't been working on.
As a matter of fact, Brian Sims, the spokesperson for the governor, said this to the Post-Inquiry quote: Governor McMaster appreciates Mr. Graham's service. The governor felt the bank would benefit, that is, from an upstate representative and has the highest confidence in Mr. White's ability. Tell me, what could an upstate representative do that you couldn't do here in the Low Country?
Well, I don't know. It brings a different perspective, of course, and we didn't really have any upstate representation on the board. So I think that was, as you quoted, that was one of the governor's interests, is to get other representation from other parts of the state on the board.
Matter of fact, you actually came out with a statement. You said this quote: I'd worked with some really good people. I came away with a lot of affirmation of my previously held beliefs and a new appreciation for the politics of road funding. You talk about those good people. What do you hope those good people, will do as far as taking this situation with 526 to the next level?
Well, I'm not sure what they'll do with 526. You know, when I came on a year and a half, Quintin, that was one of the projects that we inherited. So as you know, we took measures, or we affirmed the original commitment to the project, and but provided a deadline for the county to come up with the rest of the money.
Okay.
So, and that has been going on for some time now. So, we'll see. Or I say we'll see. I should say the board will now see if they can get the county to come up with the rest of the money.
Okay. Let me turn to that letter. Obviously, Sandy Sims, the state senator, sent this to Governor McMaster, asking to remove you, which he actually did. And she said this quote: This past year, Mr. Graham single-handedly delayed the work of the SIB by repeatedly refusing to call meetings or by canceling meetings when he knew that Charleston had the votes to move our project forward. When I was interviewing Dana Beach, I believe a week ago, he basically said, hey, this information is not accurate. What do you say to that?
Well, I would say, I mean, I know Senator Sim is a big fan of the project, and that's perhaps a mischaracterization of the position that I took with regard to the meeting postponements, and one of which had to happen because of the hurricane,
Right.
Hurricane Matthew. And we were waiting on other information from other counties. And, you know, it's a busy board, and it just took some time to get all set up. But it wasn't the intent of it was not, the postponement was not to delay the vote.
The letter went on to say this: he has succeeded in waiting until members of the board rotated off and new members have rotated on. In short, he has substituted his opinion for that of the board by not doing the job he was appointed to do and conduct meetings. For this alone, I believe that him serving on the board has been subpar. Subpar. What's your reaction to this?
Well, again, I think that's her view, and it's a mischaracterization of, I mean, I felt we did a lot of good work on the board, so while I was there.
You say that she's obviously in favor of this particular project, which is obviously completing 526. Are you?
My position was that I thought there were better alternatives than what's planned, that would cost less, have a better chance of relieving traffic congestion, and that those should be explored.
Okay, so what are those alternatives in your mind?
Well, I think you have to get back to kind of a bigger picture view of how we want to plan and develop in our region. You know, Quintin, for going on 60 years, the vision has been to build these big roads and spread development out over the countryside. I think that it's pretty obvious that that does not work to relieve traffic congestion. In fact, it just makes it worse. It induces more driving and creates a bigger problem. We're perpetuating a problem by continuing to do that.
Wow.
And you know, unfortunately, you know, you quoted me from the article early on, the politics of road building. There's considerable money that is involved when you build these big roads.
Right.
And the government contractors, road contractors, engineers, others, stand to make a lot of money or not.
Okay.
They feed they contribute heavily to these political representatives like Senator Sin to their campaigns. So they're apt to not want to explore other alternatives, unfortunately.
Wow. You keep talking about politics, and I've asked you this several times, and other people too. But how did politics come into something that is really a serious issue? As far as completing 526, and some people say, hey, we need this just in case for the next hurricane and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it gets back, I think, to there being a lot of money at stake.
Okay.
On big projects like this. And I think it's it's natural for folks when they get tied up in traffic. For example, they're sitting in traffic on 17 or somewhere, to like, gosh darn it, you know, we just need to build more roads. And that's the reactionary response that many people have.
Mm.
And again, my view is that there are better alternatives to doing that. Sometimes that needs to be done, but we have been pursuing that strategy for 60 years, and we continue to pursue it. And it's going to, unfortunately, I mean, all the evidence points to the fact that it's going to make the situation worse.
Mm. I know that you are really a contrary thinker. What do you hope the next board, with this new leadership of chairman, will think about next as far as 526?
Well, I'm sure they'll continue to be fair,
Okay.
And look at it as objectively as they can. We outlined the plan for what needs to be done way back in December 2015 in terms of the bank will commit this $420 million contingent on Charleston County coming up with the balance of the project costs.
And I know somewhere, I think I read that Charleston County, well, one of the Charleston County council members basically said, hey, we don't have to, ask where the money is coming from. When you think of the county, Charleston County right now, the council and their state, what is the state of Charleston County Council in your mind?
It still seems to be fairly divided, at least on this subject. I think there are 3 or 4 who are opposed to it, and 5 who seem firmly in favor.
Wow.
That's what I just from reading the paper and hearing, talking to a few of them.
Wow. Well, Vince Graham, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, you're welcome, Quintin. Enjoyed it. Good to see you.
Thank you too.